Welcome to Awesome Video Game Memories, where we talk about awesome memories about video games. I'm Ryan, and today's game is going to be Ninja Gaiden. So it was 1989. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were at the height of their popularity, and so a friend of mine says, "Hey, have you played this game called Ninja Gaiden?" Yes, that's how we pronounced it back in the day, Ninja Gaiden. So one of my first memories of Ninja Gaiden was going to the arcade and seeing that infamous continue screen where the razor blade is about to go down Ryu's chest, and it was pretty crazy. So I don't really remember much of the arcade since I was only able to get to the second level, so the NES game was definitely a brand new experience for me. Now I kind of have this really funny confession to make. When I was a kid, like back in 1989, I was really scared of anything scary, like, Dracula, demons, and werewolves, and all the horror stuff. So when I read the manual for this game, there was this level called Hall of the Demons, and I was very scared to actually go to that level. So every time I would play this game, I would get as far as the stage before that, then turn the game off. But don't worry, it took probably another 2 years before I completely desensitized myself to all the horror stuff and I was able to play the game normally all the way. Yeah, so everybody remembers this game for being really, really difficult, and I remember as a kid, I couldn't get past the boss of the third stage, the guy that keeps jumping around, he puts the bullets on the walls. I had no idea how to beat him. I came close so many times, but I just could never beat him. But then I rented the game again. I was able to get the art of the fire wheel, and I was able to beat him by when he was jumping. I would just shoot the fire wheel, and it would take a lot of his life away, and I was able to beat him that way. Yeah, so I confess, as a kid, I only beat this game legitimately once. Yeah, so everybody remembers this game for being really difficult, and definitely everybody remembers the dreaded level 6-2. Oh my god, 6-2. I remember being stuck on that thing for days! Yeah, but like any level in the game, it's highly patterned, so if you kind of knew the pattern, you can probably get past it after a couple of tries, but it's still a very hard level to this day. So everyone remembers, if you lose to any of the final bosses, it starts you off right at the beginning of level 6. All the way, yes, you had to get past level 6-2 over and over again if you died at the last final bosses. Yeah, probably the most memorable thing about this game were the cutscenes. There weren't any other games at the time that actually did this. And we were able to get engaged in the story while still being able to enjoy playing the game, because back then it was kind of hard to tell a story and be able to play the game, without the manual. Yeah, and one of the best things about this game was the music. That tune that plays when Ryu, his father, and Bloody Moth are confronting each other. It's so intense, man! And then after your father falls, you get this really sad tune that really makes you determined to play the game. You're like, I want to go to the USA and avenge my father, man. And what was really cool about this game too, that it was written like it was a movie. You had drama, you had action, and then you had all these crazy twists. Okay, now we're kind of going to spoiler territory for this, over 30-year-old game, but still, there's probably a couple of people who haven't played it. But yeah, I was pretty surprised to find out that Ryu's father was still alive, and you had to fight him at the end, kind of a little bit like Darth Vader, but not really, because your father was under mind control. Yeah, and there was a lot of memorable tunes in this game, like the Death Valley music I loved. I loved the music when you're talking to Foster, and then that really sad music when you're fighting your father. And probably my favorite tune is probably level 4-2, which was Inside the Mines. Just listen to it. And then at the end, when Foster says, now your mission is to kill Ryu after he's did all this stuff for us. And then Ryu was like, you know what, Foster? I'm taking 2 forms of payment. The first payment is right in front of me, and the second is you, Foster. And I was like, oh, what kind of payment? And like my 10-year-old mind couldn't comprehend. Oh, what kind of payment is he? Oh my god, they're kissing! Ew, I'm 10 years old, but I don't even know why. But now I'm like, oh, hey, yeah, he's kissing her. He's getting his Mac on with Irene, yeah, Yeah, it was writing like that, it really felt like it was more of a movie than a game. Yeah, so Ninja Gaiden for the NES was hands down one of the most memorable games for the system because one, you had great fast-paced action, really brutal difficulty, and a very engaging story that told it through cutscenes while you were playing the game. Yeah, so you can get this game on the Wii U Virtual Console, you can get it on the 3DS if you want to play it on the go, and it's definitely a lot easier to play it on the 3DS or the Wii U since you had save states that you can use, so it's definitely a lot easier to beat level 62 that way. Yeah, so that wraps up this episode of Awesome Video Game Memories, and if there's a game that you would like for me to talk about on Awesome Video Game Memories, make sure to leave it in comments below, so take care.